Alright, so I just wanted to sit down and kind of talk to you guys a little bit after reading the comments from the one video that I uploaded. I guess some people aren't understanding like the whole situation with Leon, so I don't have to keep repeating it over and over again in the comments. So basically with Leon, the agency that he's working with, it's basically like a failsafe or like a security blanket. It's like for him to have like an FMLA and a union standing behind him before starting the job, so then if he does start a job, there's like no discrepancy or any issues, like if he has doctor's appointments or if he's not able to actually get to work because of his disability. So that's pretty much why we're going through the agency. It has nothing to do with him not being able to find a job. And then on top of it too, a lot of people were saying like to adjust his resume, and he's done that. I don't know if you guys know this, but Celeste, or Nana, she used to work in hiring department for a couple of companies, and she basically was the one that kind of helped me get a couple of jobs when we got back here, like interviews and stuff like that. And then she's the one that actually went over Leon's resume and helped him readjust his resume or whatever, and it was still the same issues. And then he went through the agency and they adjusted his resume and it's still an issue. I forgot to mention that a couple months ago that Leon went to go see a specialist that the agency sent him to see if he actually had a disability before they would work with him. And the doctor has found, you know, made the founds that we already knew about when it came to his disability. On the paperwork, the doctor actually stated that he cannot walk, stand, squat, reach, walk up steps for more than an hour at a time. The only thing that the doctor suggested was that he can sit for a couple hours at a time, but he would have to walk, stand up and walk a little bit in intervals. So that's the reason why he can't do like retail or fast food as a manager. I know a lot of people were suggesting that as well, like he could just go be a manager for these stores or whatever. And also Leon is on narcotics, so he can't take narcotics while he's, you know, working, and that means, and when he does, he usually gets tired. And same thing with like his other medications, even if you don't take the narcotics and he just takes something for the nerve pain, that also makes him really tired as well. And Leon is the type of guy that doesn't eat, and he's supposed to eat when he takes his medication, so that will also be an issue, because when Leon's working, I've seen him in action at work. When he's working, he's not usually thinking about himself, he's usually thinking about the job. So he'll go without eating and he won't even think about himself. He'll be more focused on the job and about his employees. I know a lot of people are trying to throw out suggestions, and I know it's not, you know, like trying to throw shots or being rude or anything like that, so don't think I took it that way. I'm just trying to inform you a little bit about why things are going so slow with Leon obtaining a job, because we have to make sure that he gets something that will fit his physical needs as well as his skills and experience from the past, that will sustain us for the long term. So yeah, now back to the video. So yeah, it's still an issue or whatever. And then, you know, some people are saying like, why won't you get a job? Why would I get a job if I'm already making an income? Somebody else was like, obviously, you know, you working for yourself isn't making enough income if you still need welfare. Duh. It doesn't matter if I was working a 9-to-5 job or if I was working just for myself. When you start a business, you can't expect the first day or the first month to be making tons of money in order to not be on welfare. And an example I would say is like, if I was working a 9-to-5 job and I wanted to start working for myself, I would have to continue to build myself up before I can quit my job. So yeah, that's why I'm not getting a job. And the whole purpose of me being in this program is so that I can build myself up to get to that point. That's why. But yeah, I just wanted to like come on and, you know, kind of explain it. And if you guys is wondering, all that noise, that's Raya. She's playing with the dishes, the utensils, and the pots and pans, and I let her. She's occupied. So yeah, I was just reading the comments, and I just wanted to kind of like update on that, because I know it's kind of confusing, and a lot of people are like, you know, you could just do it this way, or there's no excuse, or there's really not an excuse, but at the same time, like, in order for us to think long term and not just right now, because I think that's what a lot of you guys are thinking of, is like right now, like just jump into it and do it right now. But the way things are with us, like, we can't just jump into something right now. It has to be something that we can, like, sustain us long term. So it's no point of me or Leon to get a job that's minimum wage or less than $10 an hour, and it's not going to sustain us long term. Yeah, it takes a while for you to build up to a certain position or a certain amount of money, but for us, it's not logical for us to have all these kids and to jump into something that's not guaranteed us to be self-sufficient after we leave the program into what, a year or so. So it's just no point. To some people, it may not make sense to, you know, take our time and to, you know, be patient for our turn or for our time to come. So I mean, it makes sense because in some situations, you know, not everybody has the opportunity that we have to be able to live in this house, and to have the ability to receive welfare and go to school and, you know, work with an agency that's willing to work with you with a disability and to help you find a job that's gonna be long lasting. So I get it. I get other people's mindset about it, but for us and what's necessary for our family, I'm not going to jump into something that I know there's no security, which is why I'm going back to school, because it made no sense for me to go take a job that's $18 an hour when I know for my family I would need to make at least $5,000 a month, and $18.50 ain't shit. It's not gonna even cut it. Like, it would barely put enough money in our household to not be on welfare. It just made no sense for me to do that. So instead of taking a job that I wasn't even passionate about or didn't even want to do, I didn't see the point of going back, taking a job for it when I could go back to school and obtain a degree that I actually enjoy doing, which is around YouTube and social media and public relations and entertainment and all that. Like, it made more sense for me to do what I love and to get paid for it, and it would give me the income that I would want to be able to sustain our family. I wonder if that makes any sense. If it makes sense, give this video a thumbs up, because sometimes I feel like I don't make any sense. That's the reason why things are going slow. To some people, I get it. I understand your logic, because if it was me like 2 or 3 years ago, then yes. Hell, even 6 months ago when we moved up here, like, my thought process was to focus on the here and now. But now that I've had people in my corner who's trying to work with us and who's helping us and who's supporting us and who's, you know, encouraging us to focus on the long-term goal and not the short-term goal and not the instant gratifications, I don't want to come off as like I'm not grateful or as if I'm not, you know, trying, because that's not the case. Like, we are doing everything that we're supposed to do. If we weren't, we wouldn't still be in this house, because that's one of the requirements, is for us to continue to follow our goals and to continue to do what we're supposed to do and show proof for it. If I wasn't going to school and doing everything I was supposed to do, we wouldn't be in this program. If Leon wasn't doing what he was supposed to be doing and following the procedures with the agency that he's with, we wouldn't still be in this house. To them, to the agency and organizations that's helping us and welfare and everybody else, they're all looking at the long-term goal, and that's something that I had to actually change my mindset about, because it took me a while to actually get out of that mindset about I need to right now, I need this now, I need that now, I need to make money now, I need to do this now. And to be honest, that's not what everyone else around us expects us to do. They expect us to, you know, have a long-term goal, break it down in small portions, small little goals, and then actually work towards the bigger goal. It's not so much about I need a job now, get a job, get paid, and then live paycheck to paycheck. That's not reality, especially if you're the type of person like me who wants to be self-sufficient off of government assistance, off of any public assistance or any aid or anything like that. then you need to think long term. Don't think about right now. Don't think about the instant gratifications of having a job in 2 weeks. Don't think about any of that. Think about the long term goals. And somebody else asked me if I could do a video about like what I do with my school refund checks. I really don't have any suggestions or anything like that, because I didn't get the state grant. I was too late for the state grant, so the Pell Grant, I think that's what it's called. It barely just was. It was just enough to cover my classes and my books. So I think last time I got like $80. I don't even remember. It wasn't that much enough for me to be like I'm balling. And I chose to opt out of school loans because of the fact that like my long-term goal is to get my bachelor's degree and my master's degree. And so if it were to come to the point where I was no longer eligible for financial aid, I can rely on student loans to be able to obtain those degrees. And if I'm not working, it's no point of me getting loans now when my financial aid covers everything. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but if you feel me, give this video a thumbs up. But I will say, I will give you the information that was given to me. I know there's a lot of people out there that, again, have to work. They have to work. They don't have the opportunity that I have. And they have like the issues with childcare, or, you know, they have to work, or if they don't work, you know, I know there's a lot of things that are in factor of what is going on with all that. So I will give you the information that was given to me, and I was told to use the financial aid to pay for your schooling and everything like that. And if you had no choice but to choose between working and school, was to take out enough student loans in order to cover your bills. So like, say if your bills are, you know, I don't know, I would say like your bills come out to like $1,500 a month. So they told us to take out $1,500, enough for like the length of the semester. So like this semester is 3 months or whatever. So I'm assuming some people would take out like $1,500 for 1 month, another month, so that way it will cover all their bills during the time that they're in school, so that way they don't have to worry about working, and they can just focus all their time on school and not have to stress about having to work and go to school and take care of the kids, and you know what I mean. So I mean, the concept kind of makes sense, especially if you're just going back to school to get your associates, or if you're in nursing school or something like that, because I think a lot of the women that are doing nursing school do that. It kind of makes sense to take out enough income to cover all your bills and everything like that. So like, say if you have car payments, insurance, all that, and if you're getting Section 8 or housing, you know, you don't have to worry about any income from your cash assistance going towards bills. You can just use that money for yourself, or to maybe to spend time with your kids or whatever like that. And then they take the school refund money and they pay all their bills all at once, straight out, and they don't have to worry about it for 3 months. And then whatever income they get from welfare, that's how they live their life, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but yeah, that's basically what we were told to do. That's what I was told to do by the student advisor. She's like that if you do decide to take student loans out, only take enough that's based off of your expenses, and then once your expenses, once you get the check, pay all that off, you know, and that way you don't have to worry about it. And then they also suggested that we do like work study, because welfare won't count work study because it's considered financial aid, and so therefore that would be extra income in our pocket. And then what else did they also suggest? Oh, and then they also said that welfare provides a grant, like I think up to $1,000 for school books. So if we didn't want to use our financial aid or loans or whatever, we could use that grant from welfare to pay for our school books. And I was told, because of my situation, I didn't necessarily need to do that, and they said that I might be able to do that once I go, like, I'm done with this. They said I can use it now, but I didn't see the point. I figured it'd just be easier, because if I do decide to go for my bachelor's and my master's, it's gonna get more expensive, and the less financial aid I'm gonna get. So I figured long term, I'd rather save that for then, and then I don't have to worry about it. Here, I'm not sure how it is in other places, but here in Pennsylvania or in my county, in Berks County, cash assistance is only for 2 years, unless you are working and you're trying to build yourself up away from it, or you're going to school and you're trying to build yourself away from welfare, and then that way they'll extend it. If you have more kids, they won't extend it. I've heard of it, seen people think that they were going to extend it if they keep popping out a whole bunch of babies, and it don't work like that, especially because I think here, if you have a child, and a child, you have the option to opt out as long as as long as the child's under a year old, and then once the child is a year old, then you have to participate in the work program or training or school or volunteering or something like that. I think that's how it works. But yeah, before this video gets too long, I just wanted to come on and give y'all a little extra education about how this whole thing works. As I'm learning, I'm going to share it with you guys. I know it's not logical to share this information, and I know some people will probably think I'm bragging when I do my hauls. People will probably assume that, you know, I'm one of those people, and or because somebody said, it was funny, somebody was like, I know you're kind. What is my kind? Are you being prejudiced because I'm black? Is that what you're trying to say? What are you trying to say? What kind? What kind do you know? Because, you know, there's always a stigma around people on welfare, and there's always, you know, this idea of how welfare people are supposed to be and how they're supposed to live and how they're supposed to act. And, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I have a little bit of ratchetness in myself. I'm a little ghetto, you know what I'm saying? Like, I did grow up in the hood, but, like, there's a time and place for everything. And then, to be realistic, like, not everybody that's on welfare wants to be on welfare. And somebody else in the comments in that video, they actually said, like, you know, it's designed to keep you stuck, it's designed to keep you oppressed, and it's designed to never allow you to get ahead. And that's, and with my experience, I'm learning that is true. Like, the whole purpose of the program is to design to keep you stuck and not to be able to get ahead, but you have to be able to learn how to work around it and use it to your benefits to be able to help you get out of that. I don't think it's necessary for people to judge people because of where they are in life. You know, you don't know anybody's story, you don't know anybody's mentality, you don't know anybody's upbringings, and, you know, you'd be surprised what people will do to survive. And, you know, I commend anybody that gets through one day at a time, because, you know, there's days where I remember where I didn't eat just so that my kids can eat, and there's days that I didn't have anything to be able to provide for my kids, and I'm just not gonna sit here and throw it in somebody's face because, you know, they did something else. You know, it's just hard for me to be that type of person. And there's some certain situations where I know people and they just have excuse after excuse after excuse, and I'm just like, you're bullshit. And I get that, like, I understand where that comes in, but for people like me and Leon, you know, we are not like that. When I moved up here, my thought process was get a job, bust my ass, do what I gotta do to make sure that my family is good. And I didn't have to. Later on, I figured it out. I didn't have to do that, but, like, in my mind, that's exactly what I was thinking. And it took me a while to get out of that mentality about, you know, the instant gratifications of wanting things now and focusing on right now. And, you know, I think that's the difference between poor mentality and rich mentality, is a lot of people that are in that environment are only thinking about today. And so it's hard for us to remove ourselves from that mindset, because that's all we're used to when we live like that from day to day. So, you know, I lived like that for 2 years, and so now that I'm not in that situation, it's hard for me to bring myself back and to remind myself that it's not about today, it's not about even tomorrow, it's about 5 years, 10 years, hell, even 30 years, even 60 years. And, you know, it's crazy because I think about it and it's just like, it's not even that, like, if it seems like it's that far away, but in reality it's not that far away. So yeah, I'm not thinking about right now, I'm thinking about what I can do for my family in 60 years, even 100 years, and if it can extend even longer to beyond my grandkids, I'm all for it. I'm down for the game of the slow turtle game. Like the tortoise and the rabbit race. Like, I'm not gonna be the rabbit trying to hurry up and get to the end of the race. I'm gonna take my time and do things the right way. And I feel like that's what Leon is doing as well with when it comes to his career, because it's no longer about just a job. It's about having a career and having something that's going to be sustainable long term, not just tomorrow. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. But yeah, hopefully things will get better. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, hit that notification bell, because when I upload, then you'll be the first to know. And yeah, I'll see you on the next video. Bye.